Good afternoon, dear friend. I am Ekunayo Latin Peter. Today, I want us to take a dive into leadership. I want to talk about influence. Firstly, what is influence? Influence is talking about the extent to which a thing affects another. Influence is the extent to which a thing affects another. And we all know that in general terms, leadership is the ability to influence people. Alright, when we're talking about the concept of influence, we're talking about the extent to which a thing affects another. Alright, let's bring to mind the human factor. Alright, that's talking about the extent to which you affect your surrounding, your neighborhood, your fellow human being. So that's talking about influence. Now, another question comes to mind. If influence is the extent to which a thing affects another, then how can I be influential? Because one of the desires or the quest of man is to be great. One of the desires or the quest of man is to dominate his or her world. But if it is the direct opposite, or it is contrary, then such a man or woman is not living a fulfilled life. How can I be of influence to my world? One, acquiring a skill. Alright, when you acquire a skill, you know how to do a particular thing very well. You are so good at doing that thing. Not that you are the jack of all trades and the master of none. No. We're talking about being a master of a particular trade. In other words, you now become so relevant that people begin to patronize you. Great men that we see, that we talk about, they have one thing. They are not idle people. Their destinies are tied to one particular thing that they learned, one particular thing they can do. Look at Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg. Look at Microsoft, Bill Gates. Alright, these are their special abilities, what they can do. And with it, they became famous and very, very influential. Another thing is having a good relationship with people. The level with which your relationship go, can also determine the extent to which you become influential. That's talking about exerting positive energy. If the energy you exert is negative energy, then you would also attract negative influence. And of course, no one wants to go near somebody who is influential negatively. But rather, people want to draw close to people who are influential positively. So the extent to which you relate to people also determines how influential you will be. Alright, by just simply saying good morning to people in the morning, or good afternoon, good evening, just by mere greeting. I've heard of a case of a particular boy who always greets people in the street, and he became so relevant and influential that even a man in the street who was well-to-do gave him a car key, and his life was settled. Hallelujah. So this is what we'll talk about when we talk about influence. Another way you can become influential is by staying humble. Alright, you cannot become great without mentorship, without being under somebody's influence. Somebody has to influence you before you can influence others. So you have to be influenced to be able to influence others. So if I ask you, you are coming out to hone your skill or your talent, or your, what you can do very well. But if I may ask you, who is your father? Who is your mentor? Those who do not have mentors, the journey of their life is often cut short abruptly. The journey of their destinies is even cut off abruptly. Because you can't give what you don't know. You can only give what you know. Alright. How else can I become influential? Alright, standing out in what I do. In other words, I can do this thing so well. I can do it excellently well. I attract one customer, I attract the second customer, and I attract the third customer. And of course, it keeps on going higher and higher. So these are, surefire ways to become what? Influential. All right. Lastly, you cannot become influential without the help of God. Of course, the God factor is very, very important in order for you to influence your world. So influence is more or less tied to God than even to man. Because God is one who directs the affairs of men, or who directs the ways of men. So it is He who will command that man or that woman who would be of support to you, or that will be a support system to you to come your way. So if you consider God in all you do, then you can become influential inevitably. Thank you so much for listening and for watching to this video. I want you to, like this video, share this video. I just want to follow this page. And of course, you could as well request for any of the video you would like me to talk on. All right, I remain Ekundayo Olatunde Peter. Peace. Happy New Year to you.